Good evening, everyone. The Center for Online Education, Christ Deemed to be University, is pleased to organize this special webinar as part of the mission to empower students, graduates, working professionals, and lifelong learners through accessible, flexible, and industry relevant higher education. With the launch of 9 innovative online degree programs, BBA, BCom, BCA, MCA, MCom, MSc Data Science, MSc AI/ML, MA English with Communication Studies, MA Applied Economics. Christ Online is committed to helping learners enhance their knowledge, advance their careers, and achieve their academic aspirations without geographical barriers. These programs are designed to combine academic excellence, practical learning, and career-focused outcomes, exhibiting learners to thrive in an increasingly dynamic and digital world. As a part of this initiative, we are delighted to welcome Bibby Abraham Thomas, Legal Macha, a distinguished advocate, legal educator, and digital content creator who has transformed the way legal knowledge is communicated to the public. Through the engaging content and practical insight, he has empowered thousands of individuals to better understand their rights, legal responsibilities, cyber safety, consumer protection, and contemporary legal issues. To this insightful session, participants will gain valuable perspectives on legal awareness in the digital age, the importance of taking informed decision making, and the role of legal literacy in personal and professional success. Join us for an engaging and thought-provoking webinar that promises to educate, inspire, and equip learners with knowledge that extend beyond the classroom. Welcome and good evening, Advocate Bibby Abraham.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Veronica, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. My name is Bibby Abraham Thomas. I'm an advocate by profession. So the topic today is about the legal validity of online education and whether the degree is, the online degrees are safe, is it valid, is it legally allowed and applicable in India, and various other things. But to start off with, let me just give you a small introduction about myself. And there was also a topic discussion, the topic of discussion was about career growth, legal recognition, and employment opportunities. So just to give you a brief introduction about how relevant it is to my life and how I have grown over the years, talking about the first point about career growth. Before I come to that, I'll explain about how my life journey is with respect to various streams of education and how I switched careers in different times, in various ages and different times. Basically, I did my degree from Mysore University. I did my BCom first, and before that, I was a sports person. When I talk about sports person, it's total professional sports person, like totally into cricket, and I was having the aspiration of playing for either Karnataka or Team India. That was my first career goal. When I think about how I started and where I am today, there are various times where I have switched my careers in between, over various age categories and over various streams. So to start off with, I was a sports person, wanted to be a sports person, and aspiring to be an India cricket player. And then I came up to the state B team level, and then I had to give up cricket. In between, I did my MBA finance. So I was in the finance stream for various years. And then I had to switch again my career from finance and MBA to being an advocate. That is again the third or fourth switch in my career. So this is the basic introduction with which I'm going to start off with like how people can at various ages, irrespective of what the basic degree could be, whether you have taken some degree online or offline, how you can change and change your career in between and have a very prospective and good profession in the future. Uh, again, just to come back to what I'm doing in Bangalore right now, I'm an advocate practicing in the Bangalore Civil and High Court. I've been practicing law for the last 3 years, and I have a small Instagram page where I'm known by the name Legal Macha. I have about 1,30,000 followers plus, and I'm also a legal educator, in the sense I explain to people what are the legal points with which they can approach various courts, or whether be it civil or criminal or corporate law, and what are the aspects with which they can approach, and what is the right way of doing it. People are scared of approaching the court, be it a small problem or a major problem, right? People, the moment you talk about courts or the legal system, it looks very complicated, but believe me, it is not. So that is the small introduction with which I'm starting off. So one of the things I have put on screen, if my friends, you all can see this, I have put out a certificate. It says Indian Institute of Legal Studies. It's an online degree program. It has given all the details with respect to what is the name, what is the degree, and from which university. So my question to all of you present here and listening to me is whether this certificate is valid or it's not valid, right? So you can type your answers with respect to whether you feel it's valid or it's not valid in the chat box, right? I can see whenever I see the question, and I can answer the point. So as of now, when you see the certificate, it clearly shows that this is not valid. And the point is, why is it not valid? Again, the basic legal point here is, whenever we talk about any profession, except for 3 or 4 with respect to the medical profession, engineering profession, and legal, nursing, these 4 streams cannot have an online degree, and hence it's not valid in India, right? That's one of the things with which we can understand whether it is valid or not. The other point I want to make here is, when we talk about any online degree, there are various categories or various checks we need to make before we go for the course or we do not go. First thing is whether it is UGC recognized, right? Second point is whether it is distance DEB. Is it DEB recognized? Is it applicable in the AICTE Council? And also various professional checks. So what are the options we have with respect to whether it be a degree from a valid recognized university or a certificate from a not, unrecognized university? So there are 2 ways of approaching this. One is we can go for now for example, we have Christ University, which is a very famous university with so many years of experience and academic experience, and it's an institution which is there since so many years. It has got a brand name, and we all know that it is a degree which is definitely valid and recognized by UGC. Now, there are some colleges which may give you a fake degree, right? So what are the options you have when you have a fake degree given by such college or such university? So we can approach it either the criminal way, that is through the criminal laws, the civil laws, or even through the Indian Constitution. So there are 3 or 4 points which you definitely need to know with respect to what are the legal validity with respect to invalid or not legal degree certificates given in some colleges, which is there in India right now. First approach is to go for a criminal breach of trust. That will be the case with which we approach when there is a fake degree with respect to any person getting a fake degree. He can approach the court for criminal justice, right? Second thing is we can approach with respect to the civil code, that will come under the Indian Contracts Act, which is called a breach of contract, which means basically you have admission which is done in a college, you sign an agreement, and hence you sign a contract with the college. So if that is a problem, then we can go the civil route, that is a civil case. Third is, there are many cases we have seen with respect to the students approaching the consumer court. So that comes under the Indian Consumer Protection Act 2019. But due to various cases which was heard before in the consumer courts and various appeals in the Supreme Court, any student having a fake degree certificate which is not valid cannot approach the consumer court because he's not a consumer, and hence he has to approach through the civil court or a criminal route. Now the other point which we all need to remember is, your educational degree is a fundamental right. Any violation of that will be a violation of the fundamental right, and hence people can approach the High Court with respect to a writ petition. That's called a writ petition. So these are the very important points with which we can approach if there's a certificate we get which is not valid. I'm talking about the validity of the certificates. Now, we all know that there is a rapid increase of online education in India. So what would be the important factors with which there are many people opting for online education? First is flexibility of learning from anywhere in the world. If I'm sitting in Dubai, or I can be in Canada, I can be in Ireland, I can always, maybe I would have started working 5 years back, and now when I look back, I realized that, okay, I need to change my career. So I might need a AI/ML degree or a computer education degree. And hence I'll go for a switch in my career, that I want to change my career, and I'll go for a online education without wasting much of my time with respect to travel. And it also saves a lot of money. Second thing is, it is very, very suitable for people like working professionals. Right, people would have started, like many of us would have started started our work career at a younger age, and then we realized that we need to go for a higher degree for maybe promotion or salary hike, or just for the sake of degree. Right, we can always choose online education because that is where it is easy to get the degree certificate without your stopping your work or stopping your work or taking a break. So you can earn while you're working, and you can also learn through the online education. Other important point I want to touch upon is, a few years back, maybe about 15 years back, the employment opportunity in the online, people with online degrees was little limited. People wanted mainstream colleges and mainstream universities, and they used to absorb students from those universities. But now there is a shift, a true shift with respect to people and employers also opting for students from various sectors and various streams, various online colleges. Online degree is accepted by the private employers. The next point is whether it is valid for like UPSC or a banking exam, right? If you have an online degree, whether it is legally valid for a banking exam or to get into IAS, IPS and various UPSC exams. So right now it is totally valid with respect to the online degrees being recognized by UGC approved, DEB approved university and college, right? There are a few points with respect to what people believe, and the perception of the people in India is that online degrees, 80% is not valid, or they think it is like fake degree or not valid, right? That is a myth. It is totally false. It is recognized, it is applicable, it is valid, and it is a valid degree for higher growth and career prospects. The second myth is people believe that for government jobs and government, public sector enterprises, these online degrees are not accepted. again, legally, if you look at it, it is accepted. People have, it's a myth that it is not valid and it's not applicable. It is valid. It is, you will get the job with respect to online degrees too. The only point to be noted here is that it should be from a recognized university. So when we talk about opportunity in the private sector, first and foremost, what is that people are looking at? People are looking at the skill set of the person. People are looking at the communication. People are looking at the certifications and your internship and practical experience with respect to what is your exposure with the colleges and degrees you have taken. Now, for example, you would have done a 3-year BCA course, but you may not have the practical experience, or you may not have done any internship. So with that, if you go to any company, they may or may not absorb you. They may or may not take you on the roles. But if you have these skill sets and the communication, and you have done a project, you have done internship with some companies with 3 or 6 months experience, there is a higher chance that you are absorbed with a better salary and a better opportunity. Now, I was asked about what are the career options with respect to online degree and where it can be used. One of the main sectors is, banking, e-commerce, the complete commerce sector, finance, taxation. These are the basic streams with which your online degree is valid. Then we come to the management, HR, human resources, marketing, and operations, right? So all these degrees, what you earn and what you learn through these online programs are legally valid. The perception of people believing that, okay, it is, there are some colleges, maybe in some areas, some places where they give a fake certificate, and there, if a person is caught and is taken out of the job, that does not mean that it is happening throughout India, and all the online courses and programs are not real. And hence, it is valid. People can go for a online degree, postgraduate degree, and excellent opportunities in the government and private sector. Again, what are the advantages of online degree in India? First thing is, we have a flexible schedule where even if you are working from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 from Monday to Friday, you have this weekend classes and weekend programs where you can get your online degree. Second thing is, you can make money while working and also learn through these online degrees, which is again valid. The cost when compared to a normal degree is much lower in online courses, and the access to reputed universities right now. Now, for example, Christ University, which is a very, very famous university in India. Christ is offering a lot of opportunities with various programs in online, which is UGC approved. And hence, any student who wants to go for an online degree can choose, right? And not only Christ, there are other colleges also which are giving online degrees. The perception of online degree has changed completely in the last 10 years, and hence, it is totally and legally valid. Now, what are the various checks we need to do while we go for an online degree? First and foremost, as I said earlier, we need to go for a verification with respect to the UGC recognition and DEB recognition. The approvals must be from, and the university must be approved. Second thing is the course must be approved. These are two different things, right? People need to understand that the university approval and the course approval is of paramount importance, and hence look out for those universities and colleges which have these approvals in place. Next is NAC accreditation. Fourth point is have a look at the official website of the college and university, and then go for the admission, right? Now, what are the legal consequences with respect to either you having a fake degree certificate knowingly or unknowingly, right? So, the legal remedies what you have. The legal remedies what we have is, again, as I said earlier, we can go for a criminal case against the college if it's a fake degree given. We can also go for a constitutional right, that is the writ petition in the High Court. Third thing is to have the case registered in the civil court. All these three routes have to be taken, and then also file a complaint with the UGC. Now, with respect to the basic rights of a student, what are the things the student has to know before going, and what are the basic rights with respect to the online course? First thing is, the student has the right, the legal right to have the accurate information. That is, the information what we have from the university should be accurate and correct. Second thing is transparency, be it the courses offered, be it the degrees offered, be it the timings, be it the examinations. There should be transparency in what the colleges are doing. Third thing is whether these qualifications are valid, whether the certificates and the qualification is valid for future employment. And we also need to understand the fair admission practices, right? When we go to various colleges, we have seen that in our case, in the legal, in the court case, we have seen that some of the colleges will take the degree certificate, like suppose you have done your BCom and you want to study MBA. The degree certificate is kept with the college itself. It's not that they check and they give back the certificate to you and they retain the certificates. That is a common case which we have seen in many parts of India, that many of the colleges, they retain the certificate, which is not correct. They need to give it back to the students once the admission procedure is over. So that also you need to know. And if there is a legal issue, what are the remedies? I again explained that this is three or four options you have. You can take the criminal, civil, or the constitutional route. So the courts of India are totally open for any type of issue which the student faces and to safeguard the interest of students. Now, what is the trend which is going on right now in the last maybe 2-3 years in India is there are a lot of universities which are giving AI-enabled, the courses are all AI-enabled, AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning, AI-ML-enabled courses, which is very useful for the students right now. That's a trend which is going on right now. And there are various courses which are industry integrated. That means if it's a 3-year course, you will have 2 years of studies and then you'll have 1 year of practical experience with a tie-up with the corporate or exchange program within the country. So you can visit another country and see how the work is going on there and what is the practical work experience you get there. There is also this skill-based recruitment. Now, for example, you do a course in robotics or AIML, a course in AIML, artificial intelligence and machine learning. You always have the opportunity of getting a better job because that is a present trend which is going on in the market, right? There's no point in doing something which is like outdated and not which is not valid. So we need to have an eye on these things when we choose an online degree. So what are the key takeaways, or what are the key things we need to keep in mind when we go for a admission with respect to before making a choice, right? First thing is, as I explained, it should be totally verified, the university should be UGC recognized, the program should be approved. Check the employability. That is this course relevant in the present market conditions? Is it really helpful and is it worth it? And is that the trend right now in the market? So I can see there are a couple of questions already there. I'll try to take up one by one and then we'll see how it goes.
Is an online BCom degree from Christ University recognized by CFA Institute? Yes, it is recognized.
So it is recognized. I'm sure if you look at all the degrees offered, like the degree and courses offered by Christ, I'm sure that it will be definitely and 100% sure that it is legally valid and recognized, and hence it is definitely valid.
The next question is how and whom to approach to file complaint if a degree is fake. Will I get refund of my fees which I paid?
So this is a very valid question, very relevant to the present day, because the point here is the courts are there, the legal system is there to safeguard the interest of all the students and the common man in India, right? You have full legal rights to get full refund. Not only refund, the complete cost of fighting the case also will be recovered from the person who has done this offense. It comes under criminal offense, and hence the money will be refunded and the compensation also can be claimed.
And the next question is, does Christ University offer any course in AI/ML? Yes, Christ University does offer course in AI/ML. MSc AI/ML is there. What would be the benefit? The benefits are that you could go on to be a machine learning engineer, data scientist, AI engineer, data analyst, generative AI engineer, computer vision engineer, and so on and so forth. There are various options, and the way we deal with any program in Christ University is not something that we compromise with. Our faculties are very, very qualified. They all have PhDs, and the way we deliver education is, even though it's an online mode and the attendance and the methods are a little flexible, keeping in mind that people from all walks of life have enrolled for these courses. There are parents, there are working professionals, there are people who've had a career break. So we keep in mind that when we deliver education to any of them, we give them the utmost importance that is required. So yeah, that's the questions so far. If there are any other questions.
Before I forgot about one point, that the answer to the previous question also adds, I need to add a couple of points here.
Yes, please.
When there is a problem with the college not paying the fees back or whatever, the refund of money is the question there, right? So the point here is the approach we take is very important here. So there are so many students who do a mistake of taking the route through Consumer Protection Act. That is, they file a case in the consumer court and they keep fighting the court case for a couple of years, maybe 3 to 4 years, and then they realize that it does not even come under the consumer court, and hence have a different approach of going to the civil courts and go for a breach of contract. So people or the students are wasting a lot of time with respect to the case being filed in the wrong court itself. So that we should be aware of which is the right way of approach and what is the right way of whether it should be approached through the criminal case or a consumer court or a civil case, right? Until we decide this and do it properly, I feel there'll be a lot of time wasted with respect to not only the legal fees, your whole 3 years or 4 years gone with respect to dates and follow-up hearings and stuff like that. And then you realize after 3 years that it is not a case which comes under consumer protection. And again, you file it after 3 years. So you have wasted your 3 years. So let us have a right approach and the right perspective with respect to what should be the approach when we start off with issues like this. So if the start is good, the route and the end result will also be good. That is the point I wanted to make.
So where exactly does a student, suppose there is a student who has gone through the education process and then he or she has received a degree which is invalid. It's not recognized when he goes for a job application, when he's applying for a government job or anything. And what does that learner do at that point of time? Exactly which justice should they knock on the door?
Again, as I said, before we opt for a online course, it is better to check the credentials while we do the admission and not later on regret after 3 years of your studies and giving your valuable money and time. But the point here is, if you realize after 3 years that the certificate is fake, what is the option to be taken? So I've clearly explained, we can go for a criminal case against the college or the person who has done it. It can be it can be through the civil case. It can be a civil case with respect to breach of contract. There it can be breach of trust, the criminal breach of trust. That can be under forgery, misrepresentation. So there are various laws with respect to this sort of fake degree certificates being given. And hence, students have a lot of options with respect to the approach being the right way. So first thing is to have a criminal case file, go for a compensation, breach of contract, and then finally, if there is no remedy there, we have something called writ petition, which can be filed in the High Court.
Thank you. And in the meanwhile, if there are any questions where you are concerned about anything to do with your education and the legal aspect of it, please ask those questions. And in the meanwhile, I'll just address these. I have a humanities background and studied mathematics only up to 10th standard. I am interested in MA Applied Economics. Would you recommend me to apply for this course? Now, you can apply.
The basic degree was MA Economics.
Yes. So he wants to apply. MA Economics does have a subject where mathematics is required, but we have faculties who will give you proper guidance. When it comes to you directly applying and checking the eligibility, we will be having faculties who will take your interview and they will check your basics, whether you will be able to proceed with this particular program or if there is any other option. That is one.
Just to add on to what you just mentioned, I'm a live example sitting here. The person who has done 12th science, 12th was science, degree being switched to BCom, commerce, then to management MBA, and then to legal. So you can see various switches happening in between, but it all depends on what our aim is and where we want to reach at a certain age and time.
Yes. Thank
you. So it's never too late.
Yes, that's all for now. If there is any other questions that are related to the legal aspect, since we have an advocate with us, it will be great if the questions could be more aligned towards that. And we will be sharing a Google form via your mails. All of you will get access to the Google form. You can give your feedback. You can ask more questions, program related, and we will share that.
I'm sure that the students would be aware of which are the degree and courses which are legally valid and which are not valid online. I'm sure that many of them.
There's one more question here.
Okay.
And we give placement assistance. And we are working towards a lot of things and internship, research facilities, and we will be getting an elaborate session on how you can co-publish papers with research. And we will get back to you on that. In the meanwhile, there is a question for you, sir. In online class, one problem is will it affect our physical health in online exam? How the supervisor keeps watch on students, or they are writing the exams and finding the answer to the questions given in the question paper. If a student is using Google search to find answers, how does the supervisor get to know if they are cheating or not?
So this is not an appropriate question to a lawyer. Actually, it should be to the person who's teaching in the
So for
class.
us, we have a process where the examinations are proctored. Basically, we have an AI proctored system. A faculty will always be there with you online, but because it is AI enabled, you will not be allowed to switch tabs and you will not be able to look around. Immediately you do that, there will be a flag which is there. So it will be monitored, and there is a certain time frame which will be given to you where you can upload your answers or give your answers without any illegal method of giving your test. Yeah.
You can suggest him one thing. Since the person seems to be very smart, so you can go for a legal degree and become an advocate in the future.
Yeah, you could be. What would your definition of an internationally recognized degree or internationally recognized institute be? I have already had an argument about the recognition of Christ outside of India.
So I'm sure that it is UGC recognized and DB recognized,
Yes.
and since all the approvals are in place,
Yes.
I'm 100% sure that it is valid, and there's no doubt about the integrity and the academic brand name of Christ University, be it online or offline. The in-campus and offline both are recognized not only in India, across the world.
Right.
It is supposed to be one of the best universities because I've got a lot of people, my family members who are studying here, who have studied here before and well placed in various companies and professions in India. So I stand here to vouch that it is a legal and 100% valid
Recognized.
degree when it comes to online too.
Not just about degree.
Though I'm not a
of
Christ student, but I can vouch that since I've seen that over the years, the number of students and the quality of students who come out of Christ University and the way they get placed, I'm sure that it is 100% valid, and there's no doubt about the question being raised here.
Yes, and not just about Christ being recognized outside. We have a lot of international faculties who are with Christ. So even when it comes to the online degree programs, there will be a lot of classes and sessions where professors from other universities, from US, from Australia, will be there with us, and they will be taking sessions. So there is no question of your degree from Christ not being recognized globally. Yes. Is an online BCom from Christ University recognized by CFA Institute? Yes, it's recognized. Can we do both offline masters and different masters program in an online from Christ University itself? Once we check, you can do 2 masters at the same time. And of course, you can do one offline and you can do one online. And UGC has approved that, and this would fall under the category of dual degree, which is very, very valid and very, very recognized. Yes, you can do. You can be simultaneously doing an online degree from Christ, and you can be doing an offline degree from Christ as well. And you cannot do one UG and one PG, but you can do 2 UG degree and you can do 2 PG degree at the same time. Can the students of MA English pursue PhD later? 100%. If I face difficulty understanding the online classes, can I later transfer to the offline college program? I'm sorry, I don't think that facility is available.
But isn't that 2 different streams where
It's a different,
change?
Yes. Is the certificate printed online degree? Yes, when you get a certificate from Christ online degree, it will have Christ University mentioned there, but the mode by which this education is delivered will be mentioned at the back of the certificate, and that is online mode. It will be mentioned there. As I said, you will all be getting an email with a Google form, and you can ask your questions related to programs. All of these questions which have come up today, we're very glad to answer all of that, and it will be more great if your faculty related to the programs could give you more insight and detailed and accurate information about it. And the feedback about the webinar, what kind of webinars the students want and how educative they want it to be, can also be mentioned there, and we will take it up.
Recently, we had a case which we are personally in our office, that a student got an admission for a PG course in Bangalore. I would not name the college name because it's not correct. But what happened is they took the degree certificates, and after verification and once the admission is over, they're supposed to return back the degree certificate back to the students, right? The marks card and certificate, which the college didn't give back, right, to the student. This happened a couple of years back, and we're fighting the case on behalf of the student against the college with respect to, which is not a good practice of retaining the mark sheet and degree certificates. And hopefully in another couple of months, we'll get the judgment and the order in favor of our client.
Will online degree students get a chance to meet their batchmates and teachers? Yes, you will get that opportunity. Christ University has so many facilities provided for the online degree students. There is hardly a difference between an offline student and an online student. Offline students get campus accessibility, and so does an online degree student, but not on a regular basis, because we have events which is organized, events like the campus meet, Vistarana, and there are so many activities which we have where online degree programs came. We had that last year also for the last academic batch, and we had a session, we had online games, and we have our magazines where they are giving their talent, whether it comes to poetry, whether it's sketches, there are articles. So there are many verticals by which an online degree student of Christ is able to experience a lot of things which an offline student does. You get access to the library and the incubation facility. You can co-publish your papers with the faculty. So for the students who are worried whether they can do their PhD, you can do that, because this is going to pave a path where they are publishing their papers. And they will be having different activities where they can come to the campus. And we have an administrative team where counselors are there, and they are with prior permission. You send us an email, you will get your ID card. Of course, they've gotten that with their welcome kit. So they are able to come to the campus and access the library and other facilities which is there, provided they send us a prior mail. Even when it comes to meeting their teachers, if they take an appointment with the teachers, of course, because we cannot just open the gate for a lot of people. Christ is a well-known brand, and we take care of the security of the students. Absolutely. And faculties who are there within. So when they send us an email and we fix the appointment, and they get to meet the teachers, and a lot of other facilities are there. So yeah. So you do get to come to the campus and enjoy. Even your convocation is going to be offline. It's not going to be made compulsory, but for those who want to experience an offline kind of a convocation experience, they will be coming. The doors of Christ University will be opened for them, and they will experience that honor. Yes, and with that, thank you, Legal Macha.
Thank you so much for inviting me here.
And Advocate Bibby, it's a very catchy name that you have given. It's very trendy. And but thank you so much that you were there. And it was a very non-traditional webinar that we had. The kind of questions, of course, it was mixed, and we were able to discuss that. And it's a good platform, because this is the intention of having a webinar, for students to ask their queries and for us to answer them, and to have experts like you also to give them more insight and encouragement. And I was really motivated by the fact that you had a change of career from an MBA finance background to legal. So a lot of people are very skeptical whether it can happen later on in their life, and then they are worried about their age and experience and all of that. And you broke free from all those cultural boundaries, and you pursued what you want to pursue. And we can see that you're happy with what you're doing, and not just in the legal field, but also as an influencer, where you actually, the legal terms are very, very difficult for a lot of us to understand. And since the way you deliver your notes about certain legal aspects and all, it's very, very easy for people to understand. So thank you so much.
So just to add to what you said just now, so the whole idea was to ensure that the common citizens, the common people in India, should not be scared of the court system and the legal system, which looks very complicated from outside, but it is not. If you have the patience and courage to just go through the process, it will take care of all the problems automatically. You have a very robust and a very systematic way, and a very clear, transparent legal system in India, where if you have the right attitude and approach, there is 100% chance that the justice will be delivered. And that's the main point of why I started to talk about legal awareness through my Insta page, because I wanted the person, the lowest category, or the lowest person, like the person who has no knowledge about any of these sections or laws or rights, to know how easy it is to approach and fight for yourself, right? The fear of going to the court and the whole procedure makes a lot of people very apprehensive and very anxious. They feel it's very expensive. It is not. There are also cases where people can fight pro bono, which means even if you don't have the money to fight the case without money, also there are advocates, we also do it, that they fight the case pro bono. Without money, also it can be done. So it is so easy, but people feel it is very complicated, and hence they don't approach the court or the legal system. So I wanted to break from that and show the path to people, the common man in India, that you can approach the courts, you can fight for your rights, even if it is against like a lot of powerful people and the powerful system in place, but you can fight and stand for yourself and do it yourself. That is the whole idea with which we started this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And with this, we come to the end of our program. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.